Hi there, my dear ninth graders. Today, we shall talk about motion. Now, you must have all seen things move around you. You must have seen fishes swim in the water. You must have heard your heart beat. You must have seen people driving around in cars. So, when something moves, we say that that thing or object is in motion. Now, there are several types of motion. You can have the motion of a fan, that's called rotational motion. Or you can have soldiers marching on a bridge. That would be translatory motion. You can have planets moving around the sun. Again, that's one sort of rotational motion or revolutionary motion, rather. Then you could have uh, children swinging on swings. That's oscillatory or periodic motion. So there are different kinds of motion that we see around us. But how do we say or how do we justify that something is in motion? Now imagine this. If you're in outer space, it's totally black. You cannot see anything around you. Can you know whether you're moving or not? It is difficult, isn't it? So that's why we always need to know the location of an object before knowing whether it has moved or not. That means if I'm sitting here and after some time I go somewhere else and I sit, I have moved. How do you know that? Because you could use anything around me as your reference. You could use the tube light that is in my room. You could use the sofa that is behind me. You could use my laptop if I'm not taking it with me. So it is extremely essential that we describe a location before we describe motion. Now, how do we describe a location? We take a reference point or an origin. Now, if I take a dot on my floor as my reference point, and that smiley face is me, by the way. So if I'm standing at some distance away from my reference point or that dot on the floor, I have specified my position. Now, if I move away from that position I was in, I would have moved a certain distance from my reference point too. I would have a new location but uh, I would have a new location with respect to my old reference point. And I would have moved from my old position to my new position. And using my reference point, you can find that out. Now this reference point can change. For example, I'm staying in Mathura. From Mathura, Delhi is 150 kilometers. But suppose you're staying in Chennai. If we use Chennai as a reference point, then Delhi has a different distance from Chennai than it has from Mathura. So when our reference point changes, our object's location or position also changes. That object might not move at all, but because our reference point has changed, the object is said to have a different position. Now, the simplest type of motion is moving in a straight line. Now, suppose I am here. Now, from here, I move 5 meters away to this point. Now, from my new location, I move 2 meters towards my older location. So now I am closer to my first location. So if I use my first location, this, as my reference point, I have covered a distance of 5 plus 2, that is 7 meters. But what's my displacement? It's just 3. How is that possible? According to physics, distance is the total distance, the total length of the path I traveled in. That is, I went from this point to this and I came back to this. So my distance is 5 plus 2, 7 meters. But displacement is defined in physics as the shortest distance between my starting point and my final point. and that's just 3 meters. Now let's take an example like this. Imagine I start from here and I follow along the blue path and I move around and I come back to this point. Now, this entire path, the length of the entire path that I covered would be the distance. But the shortest distance between these 2 points, that would be my displacement. Now, we've understood what is distance and displacement. Now imagine this. If I'm driving on a highway, an expressway maybe, I start from a position at 9:30 a.m. and I keep going. At 9:45 a.m. I have covered 60 meters. At 10 a.m. I have covered 120 kilometers. At 10:15 p.m. a.m. I have covered 180 kilometers. So I'm covering equal distance in equal intervals of time. So I am executing uniform motion because in the same interval I'm traveling the same distance. Now imagine this. I start from Mathura and I'm going to Delhi. Somewhere in between there is a traffic block. I go slow. Say I could cover only 30 kilometers in 15 minutes. And then I got a free stretch. I accelerated and I moved 60 kilometers in 15 minutes. Then again, I met a dragging traffic and I could just cover 10 kilometers in 15 minutes. Then again, I could cover 20 kilometers. Then again, I could cover 60 and then again 20. So now you see the time interval remains constant, but I'm covering different distances in the same time interval of 15 minutes. So in the first case, our motion is said to be uniform. In the second case, our motion is said to be non-uniform. So uniform motion is when you travel the same distance in the same interval, and non-uniform motion is when you travel different distances in the same interval. Hope you enjoyed this lesson. I would leave you with one question. Can displacement be zero? And can distance be zero? Think about it and let me know. Bye bye.